Hey YouTube, got another project. So this was not supposed to be a project. I sold my last boat, the Four Winds Sundowner, and I picked up a little toy. Drove to Ocala, Florida, and picked it up on it looked really good. Looked like it's very well maintained, and here it is. You see part of it right here. Okay, very clean. Now he started the engine, hooked it up to water, started the engine. He says, I'm not taking it to the water. No, don't waste my time. I believed him. That was a mistake. I made a big mistake. A mistake I should never have made, because I've been around boats since I was as long as I could walk. But I made a mistake. I believed somebody. I thought they were honest. The guy told me that the boat was good for about 55 to 60 miles an hour, and yeah, like everything was just great about it. Well, took it home, put it in the water, and it started hard, barely. You know, I had to use a starter fluid. He did say that he used starter fluid to start it. I thought that was like, okay, once every 3 months, you know, if you start it up and you haven't run it in a while. But apparently that was every time you start it. Like it was running 2 minutes ago, you need to turn it off, you got to use starter fluid again. That was ridiculous. But anyway, that's maybe a carburetor issue or something, or timing issue, I'm not sure. That was actually a smaller problem, because as soon as I took underwater and put it up to plane, as soon as it went in plane, it started sucking air. I tried this 5-6 times, thinking there was maybe a plastic bag or something that was partially blocking the intake, but it did the same thing every time. So I took it home and laid underneath it and looked it over, and I realized there is a major gap on the intake. Whoever did this, if it was the previous owner or somebody else, I'm not sure. And the sticking down like 2 inches, and that's causes turbulence and air, and that's what the problem is. So here, let me take you under here so you can see for yourself. That's the front of the boat, and this is the gap. This right here is supposed to be in the hole right here, so it's sticking down way too much. This is supposed to be flush with a hole. So when water come rushing this way, it hits this turbulence and then sucks in air into here, so it loses power right away. I didn't ever even measure it, but it probably achieved maybe what, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour, just enough to get in plane, and then lost it. So that was it. So now my project, you know, I bought this boat not to have a project. I always had a project since I was, what, 9 years old. I actually owned a boat when I was 7. That wasn't a project. But after that, everything else has been a project. And I bought this thinking it wasn't going to be a project, but now it is, because I was a fool, believing people were honest. Anyway, so with limited means, I gotta figure out a way of getting this boat up in the air, off of the trailer, so I can get under it without getting crushed. All right, I'm gonna hook it up to power. We'll see if it works. All right, took it out these two screws here. I'm putting this lightweight chain hoist on this end because the bow is much lighter than the back. I know it doesn't look safe. Am I gonna get under that? I don't know. We'll see. So I'm actually taking a risk and I'm going underneath it. So I'm going to take these screws out whatever I can, and I don't know the assembly of this at all ahead of time. I'm hoping that I don't have to take the engine out, but I don't know. And because the engine is actually right above it, as opposed to most jet boats, the engine is up in front of it with the drive going this way. This is going straight up. I'm not sure how it's connected, so I'm gonna unscrew all these screws and see what I can get loose, and then see, here's what the problem is. This line right here is supposed to go in the hole, and then you see how it's bending down up in front, and you have this big wall right here. So when the water flows this way, it creates a turbulence and air gets sucked in here instead of water. I got this one out, which this is not the problem. This is the one that was not bent. This is aluminum and kind of heavy duty, and everything was good with this. Working on the bent plate right now. Most of the screws out. These screws were Phillips head. This one here gave me problems, so I haven't gotten that one out yet. It's slipping. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 millimeter, I think. So I'm about to take these out in there right now. Alright, so my neighbor buddy came out with this, some old school vice grips, and that is grabbing onto it, and I can get it loose. I didn't need to do the cut after all. It's coming loose. Look at this. And here comes the plate out. Ripping it loose. Look at all that. Alright, so I went on YouTube, and I went on eBay and all over the web to try to find this part. And yeah, it's 24 years old. So yeah, it's hard to find. So far I haven't had any luck. So I think I am forced to try to fix it myself. You can see the bend right here, but that's not all. It's not just on the outside, it's more on the inside, where you see back here is relatively straight, but in the front you see the gap right here. That needs to come down, needs to be pressed down. So I cut out this relatively thick plywood to fit inside here, and I'm laying it on top of this board and laying, because I don't need to change the pattern of this one here, because that's where the water intake is. That need to be down. So I'm gonna lay this right here. I'm gonna take my car and drive up on it and hope that is enough weight to press that down. It may not be, because this is pretty heavy duty, pretty thick aluminum. But that's the heaviest, that's the first thing I got that's sort of heavy. I don't know what else I could. I have an RV in the back, which is about 10,000 pounds, be like 2,500 pounds on each wheel. Maybe that's next if that doesn't work. We'll see. We'll give it a try with this one first.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. So what do you guys think? Is that good enough? It's blowing up now. The water's flow is gonna come here. I think we have bent it back about 2 inches, and I think the inside has come down the way it should. So even though I couldn't find it online new or even used undamaged, I think this is gonna be fine. Alright, so now I'm gonna take it under the boat, and then while I'm under there, I'm gonna apply this on the outside and then press it in and screw it up. This one. Couple to enter so I can make it hang. There's 2 screws in there, so we'll hang with one there, and then one more on the other side. All right. Much more flush and even with the keel and the hull than the previous one. The other one was sticking down like to my thumb. So even though I didn't get a brand new skid plate, I evened out, flattened out the ones that I had and fixed it, and time will tell when I put it in the water, see if it is any better. Alright, so since I bought the boat from a shyster, before I take it on the water, I better try to or change out the pump oil at the same time to make sure that it's not empty or full of milk. So that will destroy the motor or the gears anymore. So I'll go under now. It's starting to run clearer. I think this is the new product mixed with some of the old that is still remaining. The whole unit holds 28 fluid ounces. What I have here is 32. So I probably use the whole thing, where the last couple of ounces is just flushing out. Because it's almost empty now. Yep, there we go. It's empty. Alright, rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. I should have put that one in there first.